Lieutenant F.A. Botel is ordered to seize the rifle of Scarface Charlie, one of Captain Jack's finest warriors. As Botel goes to do so, Charlie aims his rifle right at him.
I called out to the men, "Shoot over those Indians," and raised my pistol and fired at Scarface Charlie. Great minds appear to have thought alike. At the same instant, Charlie raised his rifle and fired at me.
Nobody knows who fired the first shot between the two of them. Both of them missed, and from there on, we have a war now.
The Modocs retreat, and the cavalrymen burn down Captain Jack's village. One group of Modoc warriors, led by the man called Hooker Jim, decide to take revenge. They go on a rampage around Tule Lake. The settlers, who do not know about the confrontation between the Modocs and the army, are totally unsuspecting and unprotected.
Most of them were out in the field cutting grain or something, or chopping wood or something of the sort, when the Indians come whooping into their farm and shoot them.
The Modocs take care not to kill women and children. But when Hooker Jim and his comrades are done, 14 white men are dead. Captain Jack, his men, and their families flee into a mysterious area of volcanic rocks and caves. These are the barren and forbidding lava beds, a place of both strategic and spiritual power for the Modocs. The land of burnt-out fires. Here, the landscape provides Jack with a natural fortress of stone. It will become known to the world as Captain Jack's Stronghold.
They came here knowing how they could use the land against their enemy. So they literally took the very elements of the earth and they turned it to fight in the war. That's why they came here.
More than a month and a half go by as the army awaits supplies and reinforcements, readying themselves for an assault on Captain Jack's stronghold. They are confident of success. Soldiers brag that they will have Modoc steak for dinner. Their commanding officer, Lieutenant Colonel Frank Wheaton, reports,
"We are now in better condition than I ever saw troops for a movement against hostile Indians. We leave for Captain Jack's Gibraltar tomorrow. I don't understand how they can think of any serious resistance."
But the Modocs are equally, if not more, confident. One reason, they believe they have strong medicine on their side in the person of the powerful Modoc shaman, Curly-Headed Doctor.
Curly-Headed Doctor gave the Modoc people the hope and the courage to continue fighting because they believed they were invincible. They didn't think they could be defeated. And if you believe that you will not die and you cannot be defeated, you will fight.
The medicine man has made a rope of woven tule, hundreds of feet long, and painted it red. He encircles the stronghold with it and tells the warriors that while they stay inside the rope, no soldier will enter and no bullets can hurt them. Dawn, Friday, January 17th, 1873. Vast banks of fog roll in that obscure the Modocs from their enemy. The army gingerly moves across the lava beds, slowly picking its way through the treacherous, rocky, slippery terrain.
never had clue, one, of the land that they were walking into, and I don't think they had an idea of the spirit of the people that they were dealing with either.
Shot at by warriors they cannot see, the soldiers may as well be paper targets in a shooting gallery.
The crevices here were marvelous because the Indians learned how to use them. They were in back of the enemy, they were in front of the enemy, beside the enemy, and they never even knew where they were. One young lieutenant was wounded twice, and he had to ride home and tell his mother he'd not yet seen an Indian.
For the Army, it is a military disaster. Superior in numbers, they have been routed by a handful of warriors. Soldiers retreat in panic, leaving the dead and wounded.
Aunt Jenny, her task was to go out into the battlefield and take the bodies of the soldiers and roll them over and take their clothing and their guns, whatever she could take from the body. And how distasteful and what a horrible thing that was for her as a young woman to have to do that.
Curly-headed doctor's medicine seems strong indeed. Not one Modoc has been injured. Lieutenant Colonel Frank Wheaton's post-mortem is vastly different from his cocky report on the eve of battle.
I have never before encountered an enemy, civilized or savage, occupying a position of such great natural strength as the Modoc stronghold. Nor have I ever seen troops engage a better armed and more skillful foe.
Because of the defeat, Wheaton is relieved of command and replaced by Colonel Alvin Gillum of Tennessee.